Greetings. Now we're in the season of Epiphany, and the church is wearing green. Welcome. You need to get ready to hear one of God's stories. You need to get quiet on the inside. Let me greet you. The Lord be with you. And you say, and also with you. I think we're ready to hear the story. Let's see if we can sing our Getting Ready song together.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God.
Every year, the people of God go up to Jerusalem to celebrate the great feast of Passover, the time when they remember how God led them through the waters to freedom. This year, Mary and Joseph and Jesus were going up to Jerusalem to celebrate the Feast of Passover, and they were excited because now Jesus is 12 years old enough to go to the temple by himself. And Jesus went into the temple to talk to God and to listen to the great teachers tell stories from the past. But on the actual time for the feast, Jesus and his family and his friends came together to celebrate and eat the Passover meal. After Passover was finished, everyone went back, or started back, for home. When night came, Mary started looking for Jesus. She looked everywhere. Joseph did too. They went to his friends, but no one had seen him. They looked and looked. And then they found him in the temple. Mary said, "Why are you in the temple? Didn't you know we'd be worried about you? We didn't know where you were." And Jesus didn't really understand why they were so worried. He said, "Didn't you know that I would be in my Father's house?" Mary and Joseph didn't understand, but they all went back together. And when they got home, Jesus grew up to be a wise person. He grew to be a man, and he was tall and strong. He grew in wisdom and love, and he was loved by God and the people. Now, I'm wondering how Jesus felt when he found out that he could go to the temple by himself for the first time, that he was old enough. And I wonder how Mary felt when Jesus went into the temple by himself. But I also wonder, when they went home or started home and they couldn't find him, I wonder how they felt. And I wonder what Jesus was thinking when he hadn't seen his parents for almost a whole day. And I wondered too if he talked to these teachers or if he just listened. And I wonder what Jesus meant when he said to his mother and father, "Didn't you know that I would be in my Father's house?" I wonder who Jesus' father was, and if this was his house. You watch as I put the story away. Now it's time to light the Christ candle. We light this Christ candle to remind us that God is here, and especially when we read from the Bible. Today's story is found in the book of Luke. This is the only story in the Bible that we have when Jesus is a boy. This is the only one. You listen. Every year, the parents of Jesus went to Jerusalem for the Passover festival. When Jesus was 12 years old, they went to the festival as usual. And when the festival was over, they started back home. But the boy Jesus stayed in Jerusalem. His parents did not know this. They thought he was with the group. So they traveled a whole day, and then they started to look for him among their relatives and friends. They did not find him, so they went back to Jerusalem looking for him. On the third day, they found him in the temple, sitting with the Jewish teachers, listening to them and asking questions. All who heard him were amazed at his intelligent answers, and his parents were astonished when they saw him, and his mother said to him, "Son, why have you done this to us? Your father and I have been terribly worried trying to find you." He answered them, "Why did you have to look for me? Didn't you know that I had to be in my Father's house?" But they didn't understand his answer. So Jesus went back with them to Nazareth, where he was obedient to them. His mother treasured all these things in her heart, and Jesus grew both in body and in wisdom and in favor with God and people. Three days they looked for him. 3 days, that's a long time. Now it's time to talk to God with our prayers. Now there might be something from this story that you'd like to thank God for. Or maybe you have a question for God. Let's bow our heads and close our eyes and talk to God with our prayers. God, we come before you and we thank you. We wish we could be together in the Father's house. We have many things to thank you for. We thank you for our families, the people that love us and care about us, people that protect us. We thank you that you love us and you are always with us. God, some of us know people that are lost. Hear us as we name them to you. And we all know people that are sad and sick. Hear us as we name them. And God, if there's anybody listening today that's sick or sad, I pray that they might know that you love them and you are with them. And now, God, we close our time of prayer with that special prayer, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now it's time to change the light, so the light of Christ can go with you everywhere, at home, at school, playing in the yard. Whatever you're doing, you remember that the light of Christ is there. I ask God's blessing on you, and we'll bless one another with the singing of our final song, Go Now in Peace.
Go